Hello, everyone. Um, I guess I better turn off that light, huh? Whew. Been over here doing my dishes. Okay. I just got an email uh, from someone, and I truly hope that if this video helps him in some way, if it doesn't, um, and even if it does, you probably still need to see a psychologist or a psychiatrist, even your medical, your primary care physician. You need, because I'm no professional, okay? Um, I have studied and I am in the nursing field, but I'm no expert, okay? So you still need to pursue this in other ways, if you know what I mean. Okay, the question was, um, how can, basically what she's saying is that she cannot, she's always depressed, suicidal thoughts, and a friend of hers evidently is a witch, and she said that this path may help her in her depression, and she wanted to know my opinion on it. This is a pretty rough question. Because it can really be answered in so many ways, and I really need some more information. But I'll just do an overall thing about it if I don't go blank. Okay, first of all, forget that we're witches. Okay, um, we are still human. We are still very prone and susceptible to all the mental illnesses that are out there. Um, First of all, if you think that you may have a mental disorder of any sort, then you need to speak to your doctor about it. Um, there's all different reasons that you may be thinking that. Your signs and symptoms need to be evaluated. Um, it could be just simply a hormonal imbalance, um, or maybe your serotonin levels are off. It could be, a lot of different things other than just in your mind. Um, First of all, that needs to be evaluated. You need to go have some blood work done, which is probably what the doctor will order, to check for those first to make sure that they can rule any physical um, uh, that it's not physical. I'll just put it that way. That it's nothing actually chemical going on in your body to where it's physically incapacitating you or scaring you, or what have you. Um, if your blood work comes back negative, um, for any of that, and it's figured out that it is in your head, um, most of the time, honestly, if somebody is now, and I'm talking about psychosis, as in the actual mental disorders like schizophrenia, um, bipolar disorder, um, things like that, of that nature. Most in generally, it's because there is a hormone imbalance in your system somewhere. And therefore, that's what we have medication for, to either raise a level or lower a level, or and they have to keep an eye on that, because some medications, although they, like, per se, if it's something to do with raising a serotonin level, okay, as you're, even though the serotonin level is being raised, then everything else is being raised too. It's really hard to create a medication that will raise one and hold the other one where it's supposed to be. I know you probably don't understand what I'm trying to say, but that's why you just need to go to your doctor. Your doctor knows this, and they will do the lab work to find out where you're insufficient. Most of the time in depression, clinical depression like that, it is, something to do with your body lacking in something. If for some reason it's not, it could be hereditary. A lot of psychosis are, like your schizophrenia, for instance, is hereditary, or it's a gene that could be passed down. Not necessarily your mother was a full-blown schizophrenic, or your father, you know what I'm saying. But anyway, the doctor will figure all that out. Hang on a sec. I don't know who the hell this is. Hello?
Will you tell Rob to let me in? I know he's been all stubborn and shit. I got stuck. I got stranded up there, so.
You didn't call him?
My phone's been dead.
Well, whose phone are you on now?
My neighbor's. I'm glad you stepped out to smoke a cigarette or I'd be fucked.
Motherfucker, Justin.
Yeah, I know.
God damn it. All right, I'll call him. I'm sorry, guys. That was my kid. 33 years old. Well, I'm sorry. He's 31. My daughter's 33. Anyway, you'll have to give me a second here. I got to make a phone call. But you first need to be evaluated by your doctor, okay? Don't ever use witchcraft as to self-diagnose yourself. That could become really dangerous for you and your well-being.
Hello?
Hey, are you sleeping? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was.
Well, fuck. Justin just called me from the neighbor's house.
What neighbor?
Your neighbor, and his phone is dead. Anyway, he wants you to let him in. He don't know your number by heart, I guess.
I'll show you what. I'd want to pack in his fucking bags.
No, I don't blame you. He screws everything up all the time.
Well, did he tell you about the night he called me? Just took him up to the fucking emergency room?
No.
Ask him about it. Alright, I'll go play his ass in.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. I'm sorry, guys. It figures. This couldn't have happened until I got on here, huh? Give me just a sec. and I'll forget where I was. Watch me. Justin?
This is the person who's talking to you.
I'm so sorry that he had to wake you up.
It's alright. I was just howling. I was
Damn it. I'm sorry. Tell him that Robert's fixing to unlock the door.
okay.
Thank you. Sorry, guys. I guess no matter how old your kids get, you're still mama. Anyway, yes. Make sure that you see your doctor, okay? Don't self-diagnose. Don't self-medicate. You could make the problem worse. And if it's truly a chemical issue, that's not good. You know, it can develop into something that's harder to fix or harder to get over. And I repeat, do not go and looking up herbs. Now, most of us witches, yes, we are very holistic. We believe in our herbs. But for something like this, you need a physician, a real physician. Don't look up a recipe, you know, or a spell and say, well, I'll mix this and this and this together and take it and then I'll feel fine. No, because some things require a lot more than anything you could mix together in your witch room. Always, you need to speak to your doctor about something like that. Depression. Everybody goes through depression, okay? Just because you have a bad day or something happens in your life to where you're depressed for a while does not mean you have depression as an illness. It's simply an emotion that we all feel, even witches. Now, if the depression goes on and on and on, or you find yourself flopping back and forth, like seriously, to where you can tell it, then there's usually a problem somewhere. And you know what I mean? Like one minute you'll be laughing and you're all in a good mood and you seem, you know, on top of the world, and the very next second you're crying and you have no idea why. Okay, I would say mostly in women. Men do have issues with hormones also. But it's usually the women that are missing, you know, or low on hormones when they start doing that. Or they'll fluctuate so bad they feel like they're losing their minds. 1 second they're laughing, the next they're crying, the next they want to kill you. You know, just all within a 30-minute time span. And there's medication for that too. You know, they may put you on hormones. Check your hormone levels, see what it is. If any condition that you have, if it's not chemical, if it's not something that can be corrected, which they claim anything can be corrected with medication, I don't believe that way. Now, if it's something chemical in your brain that's causing you to spaz out or hear voices or whatever, yes, then you need to take a chemical that will balance out that synopsis to where it doesn't fluctuate so badly and throw your whole system off. This occurs in your brain, and we all know that your brain is your most powerful organ. I mean, you know, it rules everything below it. And it can make for an extremely miserable life if it's always flopping around up there. So make sure you get checked out. Now, if your chemicals are okay and, you know, something else is going on, that's when you need to sit down. You need to think why you're depressed, or why you're so angry all the time, very short-tempered. We've ruled out that it's not chemical. It's not a chemical imbalance anywhere in your system. So you have to be creating that somehow. And what you have to do is find how you're doing it, how you're creating it. It could be subconscious thoughts. It could be just negative emotions that have built up to where, and now I'm not saying, because we have all experienced things in our life. Yes. I mean, I don't know of anybody that's hasn't had bad days or had bad relationships or went through bad divorces, or, you know, the typical things, everyday life things that happen throughout a lifetime. Um, we usually get depressed and we get over it, or we heal somehow. Some people don't ever heal, and I think that's because they won't allow themselves to. Like, for instance, let me give you a good example, and I don't want to piss nobody off. I'm just trying to give examples here of, okay, like, for instance, you have a horrible marriage, okay? Say that you're a battered woman. Your husband beat on you for years. Okay. Well, something happens to a woman's psyche when that is occurring on a daily basis, and she starts to believe that it's her fault, that it's something that is supposed to happen. It gradually becomes the norm in her life, and this is what the abuser is counting on. That way, this other individual is easily led. They're easily kept on a leash. They're controlled. And there you have the other issue. This person is a controller. Everything has to go their way. I mean, plumb to the soul and core civic of this other individual. Um, that's their own disorder. So let's just say that the woman finally one day decides, I mean, she just all of a sudden wakes up one day and says, hey, this is wrong. Maybe she's been talking to her friends, maybe her doctor. Um, and then fear sets in. It's like, okay, I want to leave this person. She's got it in her mind that she's going to leave. First of all, she's got to figure out how. Him being so controlling, I'm sure she had no money and no control over the household funds. So she won't have the money to leave, which is another way that he's controlling her. He's the one with all the money, and he knows she doesn't have any, and he's kept her under his thumb for so long that she probably don't even remember how to go out and work or get a job, or he won't let her go get one. So therefore, she doesn't have her own money, quote unquote. So how's she going to leave? She's going to have to depend on a family member, a friend, and then that may create another issue. She'll be thinking, but I don't want to be a burden on somebody else. I don't, she may not have any other choice but to go to one of her kids if her kids are grown. Well, most of us don't want to put that on our children. Have mom living with you or have mom to take care of. So then that causes fear in them. And the money situation, all this combined, they're sitting there thinking, and what happens? They end up staying for whatever reasons or many reasons. They end up staying in that horrible abusive relationship. Okay. So it's with anything else. Um, it's all about mind over matter. I'm telling you. If it's nothing chemical going on in your brain, and I assure you, I have been depressed. I have been severely depressed. Um, and it was about the time I was going through menopause. And so my doctor just automatically assumed that it was part of my menopause. And that can happen. You know, women get to a certain age, their hormones start changing, and just all kinds of thoughts go through your head, you know, like, oh, I'm not pretty anymore. I don't have that body I used to have. Um, my life's over. I'm getting old. You know, all the thoughts that go through a woman's head at that